We're facing a crisis of MMIW women in the United States and Canada. I feel it is important to spread awareness of this issue. Native American women make up a significant portion of murdered and missing individuals. Often these cases go unsolved or undocumented. It is important to advocate for changes in the governmental system to organize the cases of missing and murdered Indigenous people. The purpose of my speech is to persuade you to advocate for systemic changes that will improve the response to cases of missing, murdered Indigenous people. Think of all the women you know and love. Now, out of those women, imagine half of them get abused or raped. A terrible thing to think about, yes. But more than half of Native American women will experience some type of violence in their lifetime. According to the U.S. Department of Indian Affairs, Indigenous women experienced the second highest rate of homicide in 2020. It is humane to care about all people, especially if a large number of Indigenous people go missing or murdered each year and there is no media coverage on these situations. I am Native American and I am a statistic. I have been involved in domestic violence. The justice system is not in favor of minority women. I should not have to live in fear of going missing or murdered, but that is the sad truth as an Indigenous person. Missing and murdered Indigenous women is a widespread issue with little to no media coverage. Let's change the narrative and spread awareness of MMIW. Now that I have explained what MMIW is, I will move on to explain the importance of the MMIW movement. Why is there a widespread silence on the MMIW issue? This issue stems from the Indian Relocation Act. Few resources linked to their culture and community. This includes poverty and coming out of the foster system. Also, frequently moving from tribal lands to state lands and back. This has a jurisdictional complication, communication and coordination problems between the agencies. There is also stereotyping of Native American people. Stereotyping of Native Americans are so common, people don't even realize when they are being stereotypical. The government has tried to cover up the past of how Native people were treated, such as boarding schools, the Indian Relocation Act, and etc. When a white American person goes missing, there is all sorts of media coverage, but not for Indigenous people. Why is that? I am done with one main point and moving on to the next. Ways to honor and raise awareness of MMIW. You may often see people wearing the red handprint above their lips. Why do people show awareness using the red handprint? Why is red worn? The red handprint over the mouth represents the women who have been silenced and how their voices will not be heard. Red is said to be the only color seen by spirits. That is why you will see people wearing red, so that way the spirits can see and know that they're being heard now. Protests. People from various tribes gather to spread awareness on the disappearance and murders of Native American people. Movements are named after Indigenous women who have been reported missing as a way to raise awareness on this issue. That is all my content for this speech. So why is there a widespread silence on the MMIW issue, and what are some ways to raise awareness of MMIW? This is what murdered missing Indigenous women means and why it is an important movement to the Native people of America. When will Indigenous people have the same respect for their humanity as other Americans have? Thank you.